Oh, welcome back to the channel, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. For the old school the urban legend experience for tonight. I'm using the old head torch, the old head torch technique. It worked back in the other videos. It just adds a bit of spookiness and stuff. The other lamp I had it on charge, but the cold temperature's just not making it. It's no worky. So we're gonna use the old head torch, and well, even though that it's not even an old head torch, it's still actually relatively new. Just the one that you see there is a rechargeable, and it's actually really good. So rechargeable LED one, along with the hand torch and the lamp. The lamp is mainly a future investment, because when I get the wee raised bed off the ground and a tarpaulin, there'll be watching our camping experiences. And while I'm doing this, I'm hearing things as well. So I've just switched on the Spirit Talker. Spirit Talker's now on. Make sure it's full. Yep. We're rocking and rolling. I do apologise if I take a sip of silly juice, and I've got water there as well. So this is the Blood Moon witching hour of urban legend of giants stroke Nephilim stroke Jotnar or Jutna. Origin. So where's the origin of the origin? Pretty much since the founding of creation. Because all cultures on planet Earth all talk about giants in some shape, way or form. In some shape, way or form, they talk about them.
I've been here 500 years.
So the first thing it said is, I've been here 500 years. First thing it comes through. It's 2 minutes to 3. It's a blood moon. It's officially now the blood moon. Yeah, even the ravens are reacting to whatever the fuck whatever's happening over. That's farm equipment, but in amongst the farm equipment over in that direction. So over in that direction, there's like another bit of the valley. That noise that you can hear. There is actually other noises that are happening, and it's just said crime. Well, there could be. Because it didn't sound very good, whatever noises were coming from over in that direction. And that's farm equipment that you can hear moving around, because there is this is farmland as well. A lot of this area is farmland, actually. It's not a bad thing. A lot of cattle farms, sheep farms, pig farms. There is a few crop farms, but the crop farms around here mainly supply the sheep and the cattle. And there's a lot of horses around here as well. A lot of people have horses around here. There's a lot of horses around this area. It's quite cool actually. So the origin of the Jotnar. Before the time of man, giants once
Harriet.
the best way of putting this is well before we came on the scene, there was giants. The old Scandinavian folklore tales, and some of the Celtic and Gaelic and Pictish and barbarian Germanic tribes and cultures, and even Native Americans, they all talk about the race of giants that were here before them. So they were around a long time ago. I've always wondered if there's any that actually still roam around nowadays. Probably not. They're probably fucking looking at what we're doing and going, fuck me, man. Yeah, them. Yeah. They're probably thinking like, look at what these are all doing, and it's just went them, meaning like people in power and that, and it's like they're now doing far worse than what the giants did. So when you read the Book of Enoch and looking at like from a dark point of view, from like a dark history type of view, it's like it was fucking evil times back in Enoch's time and around that time. Yeah, nowadays it's safe. Back then it wasn't. That's what I mean. This is why this urban legend could be interesting, because like I believe in Odin and the old gods, and they all talk about they went to war with the giants and stuff. So like what I'm talking about, like things will come through that. That's what I'm hoping for. It's why I left it for the blood moon. I left it for the blood moon for a particular reason. So what's the height? Well, they started from 13 foot all the way up into the 20s. There is one that's rumoured to be the biggest one ever found, was 36 foot tall, and that's a giant. Even 13, and like as soon as you start getting above 13 foot, that's when that's giant, like giant. And there's old tales. There's like a lot of old tales as well. A lot of really good old tales. Especially with
Heroin.
why fucking for being out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere on a fucking at the witching hour, 3 o'clock in the morning on the witching hour. There's a whole load of fucking activity. This time of year, because it's coming into coming into springtime, so like if the farms do start kicking into action and stuff. Because ploughing fields, it's a very tedious process. And because it's that quiet, because the main drone because it's the time of night it is, there's not a lot of road traffic and stuff, so the farm noises is actually quite cool. The camera probably won't pick it up, but like my actual hearing can hear it. It's actually pretty alright.
You are not alone.
Yeah, I know. It's just said, you are not alone. I know I'm not alone. Just had that feeling that something, because I'm talking about the Jotnar, something's, so like I've stated in the preempt video, like got to watch this, we've got to watch, especially on the witching hour, like especially with the topic I'm talking about. I'm talking about the giants, the Nephilim. I'll call them the Jotnar or Jutnar. There's two ways of pronouncing it: Jotnar or Jutnar. Or Gutnar is another one, but that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. That's really old. That's a really, really old. That's the founding language. I can speak a bit. But I don't speak it fully because I'm not in that country, but I can understand Norse. Because to fully understand the whole broadness of the English language, you're getting into like Gaelic.
It's me they see.
I'm also going to be replying back to this as well as I'm doing this. It might be a long video. It'll be the witching hour, and then I might continue just straight on after. So who is it that you see? You just said it's me they see. So who are you? It's me they see. Who are you? So with the Jotnar, there's old tales that tell that the old battles of Odin and Thor, the frost giants and stuff. Because in this I talk about like a really, really old. It's like one of the first. It's one of the first. The first time I passed over onto the other side and went, I sat and I ended up going to sat in front of a table, and an old man with two wolves sat at the table, and just sort of like looked at me and was like, "Well, have you got like pretty much was like, so what's your story?" And I was like, I don't have a story. I never had the chance to tell a story. I never had the chance to live a life to tell a story. And he just sort of like looked at me with that weird like, huh, but you're here. And that was my very, 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 very first experience of meeting the Allfather before going into the Grand Hall. I was in the Grand Hall briefly, and then it was time to come back because they kind of have too much of a good time, apparently. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, so on the Jotnar side, there's some really key names and they're like, there is Scandinavian names and there is also other names as well, because some of the Scandinavian names are derived from these ones. So there's giant names as Gigantea, Samzel, Goliath, notably Gilgamesh, Gamora. There's also Sutan, or known as Shatan. There's Finn, Sigurd,
Melissa,
Anu, and Ezekiel. there's some of the names. There is Scandinavian names, but I don't know how. Like off at the top of my head, I know a lot.
2 lights.
Yep, there's 2 lights and aye. There's no reason for that to fall there. No reason for that to fall. But anyway. So there is a really, like I've came out to do this one mainly for the old tale of. So in Norse and Scandinavia, slightly different in Sweden and Denmark and stuff. They all go like, oh. It's like it's still the same story. It's the same with the Germanic tribes. It's the same with the Frisians. It's the same with the Anglos. It was the same with the Saxons, because there's Anglo-Saxon and there's Sax. They're both different clans, because they were clans. But anyway, if you can see the moon behind, it's pretty cool actually. Adds a bit of suspense to this as well, because this is actually a really interesting urban legend. In Norse, there's frost and fire giants, and there is a notable god, or like I don't really give reference to.
Can you hear me?
I just said, do you hear me? And I can hear something through there.
I lost my hair.
Like I always say with a spirit talker, you've got to take what resonates and discard the rest, because that was the most randomest of things. I can shine that behind actually. That's pretty cool. Being blinded at the front, but like through the back, I can, like from looking through the screen, looking backwards, I can, because I get the feeling that there's always something in where the light is shining. I always feel like there's something there. So while I'm reading the notes and things, if you're watching and you see things, it's like aye. So there is one god. Unfortunately, all like in all pantheons and stuff like that, there's always there's always one that's a bit of a bam pot. So there's Loki.
Not at peace.
So there's Loki, who's part giant and part Azir. Because that's the thing. We like, if you believe in Odin and stuff, they're called the Azir. And if you believe in that sort of, if you believe in Odin and the old gods, you also believe in the Norns, because even the gods are bound by the Norns. So technically, the actual real gods are the Norns. And if you know who if you don't know who the Norns are the weavers, the weavers of fate and destiny. That's why it was like my fate and destiny was to be
I want
entwined.
my life back.
To be entwined with Odin and the Azir. The Norns thought it would be more relevant for me to do it, and then as I got older, I did a bit more background check on like my ancestry and stuff, and then realised, like it's not so bad, not so bad at all. But I'm not being made to be made to feel ashamed of my ancestry. Like it's not going to happen. Like so what? Like I stay in a country that's named after a pagan goddess. So like, well, is the holy Scotia land got to be ashamed of being named after a pagan goddess? really? And it's like, well, if you want, then rename the country, eh? I'm pretty sure you're going to fucking piss off a lot of people in the process. But if if you really want to do it, like fucking change the name, eh? Because like Scotia, Scotland is named after Scotia. Scotia being
Healing.
the granddaughter of Freya, which makes her part of the Aesir, which makes her part of Odin. And then I've also said that I'm in, like, this is an old kingdom. This is like the kingdom. The area that I've grew up in was named God Odin. Because like if you just there's like old things, but it's all been swept under the carpet. But I remember when I was younger, I had like friends who had grandparents and stuff, and they would show me like really old writings and stuff. Like this area, like the area that I grew up in, like being called Usk, like the river. Like instead it, like it was it's known as the Esk, but like in old language, it was called Usk. Usk being Esk, where the river, where rivers meet. Where rivers meet rivers.
You are talented.
So like I said, we're all bound by the Norns. And that's like where I've got an old, really good, a really good old saying, we're both for read. And they came after me after that as well. Like they came after me because I've got it actually tattooed on my left shoulder. I've got like a Scandinavian tribal, and up above the tribal I've got we're both for read because fate's inerexible. Because the where is the real true meaning of where is the Norns. Like the Norns are everyone is bound by the Norns, which means everyone's bound by fate, which means fate is inerexible. It's never predetermined. There's those of us that can sometimes tap into.
My name is Edward.
There's some of us that can tap into that type of energy, but it comes with a warning. Like it comes with a massive warning. So in the old ancient Nordic, there is a really old tale where the world began from the void of Gunnagap, which is a giant of chaos, a giant at the centre of the universe, or cosmos, or Jotunheimer, who battled the Aesir, and Vanir being the Valkyrie side, with fire and frost. From the battle, two giants were bound together by Odin and Thor, and Jotunheim and Jotunheimer himself. So Jotunheimer was the real founding giant, like the very first, like Jotunheimer. So that's like when there's some that like Jotunheim or Jotunheim or Jutheim. There is actually places it's scattered around the world that share that name, Jotunheim or Jotunheim. It's not just in Scandinavia, there's other places as well. I'll get into that because it's part of the urban legend. So what two giants? Well, one was fire and one was frost. They were bound together by Odin, by the wisdom of Odin, by the power of Thor's hammer, and by the rest by Jotunheimer himself, to whom they named a realm that was given to the fire and frost giants, which is Jotunheim, as to not completely wipe out all giants, because believe it or not, the old gods are they're bound by war and things, but they're not they don't annihilate everything. They give everything a second chance or a chance
It's
to.
my happy place.
I'm glad it's your happy place. But to try and, because there's been a few times where I've been directly said it's like, oh, but Odin's a war, and no, like, no. But the old gods are war gods, rah. No, they're not. All right, no, they're not. They were, they still are. But to just say that that's all they are, then you're missing the bigger picture. Because there is more to the old gods than just war, rape, pillage, murder. There's more to it than just that. Please believe me.
Yeah.
The year is 2026. And if you've been here for 500 years, a lot's changed in that 500 years. Back 500 years ago, life was a little bit simpler. You knew exactly where you stand. Nowadays, modern day living doesn't allow you to know where you stand. So anyway, so from the battle between the Jotnar, led by the Jotunheim, they ended up binding a fire and frost giant, and from that, because I am going somewhere with this, because the planet is actually made up of it's like there's been two. So the Old Norse is like it's a tale of like the two giants colliding. But if you were to actually put it in perspective, it would probably be two cosmic planets collided together and then got fused together. Like the core of one absorbed the other and on the impact, and then it was over time it's created what we live on, because there's the planet doesn't the planet Earth isn't so when you get diagrams of the planet and it's all perfectly flat, like in reality it's not. Like it's very up down and stuff, and there's a really big crater. It's not called so there's a part of the Pacific, it's not called the Abyss for shits and gigs. Like it is literally the Abyss. Like, they have no idea how deep it goes. They've got a rough idea, but there's a possibility that it could go even deeper. They reckon that there's a passageway that leads from one side to the other side through that. It's like an abyss that goes right through. If you're to believe some of the old tales, but the Polynesians have the exact same tale. So when there's more than one culture, because there's three cultures, the original Japanese culture, they talk about it, and then you've got the Polynesians and the Scandinavians, the original Scandinavians. Not putting them into tribe being like Norse, Swedish, Danish, whatever. It was when Scandinavian was when Scandinavia was Scandinavia. There was no borders. No borders to dictate that, like, this is my tribe, this is your tribe. But anyway, that was a long time ago. A long time ago. That's why that one's down there. That's the old one. I do apologise. It keeps saying that. It's been about 4 or 5 times I've had that up there. It's asking me, am I alive? I don't know if you're alive or not. Because if I can see you, then it sort of questions, then I have to question that as well at the same time. And I don't care if I'm self-projecting, because like I have actually died. I've died a few times, and I sort of have that pondering question as well. Am I alive?
Why have you come?
I come to enjoy the energy of the full moon, and then a blood moon, and being around and being close to the universe, being out at night time, because you get to see the universe. And occasionally I get blessed with shooting stars. That's why I come here. And I also come here with pure intentions. I don't come here to cause any disruption or anything like that. So this realm is called Midgard. Was formed by fire and ice, but can also be destroyed by fire and ice. How Earth was created by fire and ice can also be destroyed by fire and ice. It's like what created planet Earth was two chaotic forces fusing together to make one, which is fire and ice. It's where the fire and the frost giants come together, because it was two separate planets that collided. There is actually a Netflix thing that's narrated by Morgan Freeman. That's actually a really good documentary. It's pretty much more in line with the story of the Scandinavians, and it's the Scandinavians are not the only cultures, not the only shamanic tribe type people to have that story of creation. The Native Americans have the same creation story, and there is a South American culture as well. Not Mayan or Aztecian, it was before that. They also had the same creation story. It's about, but the balance, it's like the balance of fire and ice coming together and creating what we have, which in the Azir call Midgard. Because it's bound by, so planet Earth is bound by fire and ice through the creation and destructive forces of fire and ice, and it can also be destroyed by fire and ice. And it's bound by the balance of fire and ice. So if you binding two chaotic forces that are in constant battle, because fire and ice are constantly at battle. If you think about it, one wants to try and rule over the other, but both equally put each other out. So fire brings heat from the sun, and frost comes in the form of the moon at night time. So that's why it's like
Passage.
Yeah, it's like the passage of it's like a passage. Even the ancient Egyptians have there's African tribes that have the same culture as well. It's about the balance of fire and ice. So during the day, it's the fire gives light, but the frost at night time also gives birth to new life as well, because you can't have one without the other. It's called a balance. It's quite interesting, actually, because writing this note, I was like, ooh, I can actually get into the creation of,
I reminisce here.
like, yeah, same here. I'm glad you reminisce here. I also reminisce here as well. As the window to the cosmos is open at night, we feel the universe cool the earth at night, which is a constant battle of fire and ice, because during the day, when at sunrise, you can actually feel the ice retreat. It's quite weird. Like, it's like when you're out, especially out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, especially on a frosty night like tonight. Like, it's clouding over now, because for some weird reason I got a bit uppity, a bit and through that like the weather's changed. So like, but where I'm going was with the balance of the fire and ice. So during the day you're at you're getting the heat. So when the sun, and that's how you know that whoever came up with the crackpot theory of the flat earth is fucking completely mental, because you have the fire and ice battle is enough to be like, well, explain the fucking the forces at play then. Explain, because if you're on a flat earth you wouldn't have the balance of the constant battle between fire and ice, and then you've got earth, air, and then you add water into the mix. I am going somewhere because they all have a...
Heretics Fork.
No, that's... What I'm saying is not heresy. Fuck's sake. Battle of Chaos so from the Battle of Chaos, so between the Chaos battle of fire and ice, also can form a balance, sort of like a harmony, and that's what allows planet Earth to grow, is the balance between fire and ice. Light being fire, dark being ice, so when there is dark, there's always that cool ice feeling. Light will always try to counter with the power of light and heat and warmth. Because if it was just constantly cold, there would be... They're both equally as destructive. Too much light and too much fire can destroy everything. Just the right amount can be enough to allow things to grow, and it's the same with ice as well. Like, ice comes water and stuff, so if too much of it can be destructive. Finely balanced is enough to, between the balance of the two, you get creation. And that's where the story comes with the two giants. So if you put the two giants into the mix, it's quite cool. A wee bit of imagination, because why not? Because it's quite hard, because the dark always tries. And this is where the ancient Egyptians have the story of Ra, and like the battle between the serpent god, like the constant battle between the chaotic force and darkness of the serpent. Well, the old Azir gods have the same. They just it's more the veneer of that kind of battle. It's quite cool, actually. So then you've got there's Jotunheim, which is in between. It's under Midgard, so you've got Midgard and then you've got Jotunheim. Jotunheim is like in between, and then you've got Helheim, and Helheim is the area where fire and frost collide to create an abyss. So through the abyss, because when the two of them collide, you get the darkness so it's actually called the Dark Void, and from the Dark Void you get the abyss, and that is Hela's realm, in between the fire and ice, to stop the chaotic, to stop one force overruling the other force. And that's where Hela's kingdom so if you were to count, if one was to overbalance the other, then that would Hela's kingdom breaks free, which unleashes all chaos. Because she's there to be basically, they say it's hell, but it's not. It's a realm between. It stops the overriding forces of fire and frost. It's like in the chaotic and the harmony of the balance. So Hela's kingdom breaks free with the Fenrir, brings forth the Fenrir.
I protect this place.
Fenrir, which is the wolf of Ragnarok, the original wolf of Odin, before being bound to Hela's realm. There is a reminder of to the giants that the original wolf of Odin wasn't a aye, but they weren't totally chaotic, because they allowed through that there's birth and regrowth. So when someone says it's the prophecy of the red horse, it's like, all right, cool. Like, do you actually know what that entails? Because if it goes too far, like, you then want other things starting to go, we're going to get involved. Because that's the thing. People seem to think the old gods have turned their backs or anything. It's just, no. We turned our backs on the old gods. I haven't. I see the signs. I get communicated in my dreams and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And then there's people that are like, oh, but it's evil. Like, all right, cool, whatever. You believe in what you believe in. I believe in what I believe in. I've got videos where I've shown signs. Like, it's how I interpret them. I interpret them differently to other people. Oh, wow. Because you all have came after me for that, for thinking a little bit differently. It's mad. It's mad how people can get jealous.
I shouldn't be dead.
That's the thing. It's why I like coming out here on my own and doing things like, especially this sort of thing, on my own. And I don't have other people around that start to get jealous and stuff, because it's like human behaviour can be quite pernickety. Easy to be led to jealousy. Especially when someone starts showing signs and how I interpret them. It's mental how other people can actually, like, because they've...
Isolation.
I've got a wee bit more on the urban legend, but there's not a lot of notes, and the notes are key to what the urban legend's all about. But I'm also going a wee bit into some personal things as well, because I've been through quite a lot the past few years. The past 4 years have been pretty mental. I accidentally predicted something a few years back, and every so often the people reveal themselves, and sorry for predicting things. Because my predictions aren't finished. Like I've got another prediction. I've already did a video where in that sort of rant there is actually predictions in there. Because I wanted to come out on the day I came into the universe, which was the day I was born. It's technically I class that because if you're a true believer in Odin, the day that you came into the universe is actually technically your own new year. That's what so to try and get it, like, it's why I don't believe in other religions and stuff, because they all want it set on a set day, set time, and no, regimented. It's like, no, like the day that you came into the universe is your own unique new year. But a lot of people want to go like, well, we'll all come together on this particular day. That's very good, but you have your own, just remember you have your own unique one. And then you get people that go, oh, but when you get older, you shouldn't really be celebrating your birthday. It's a bit, and it's like, well, we're not meant to be fucking proud of the day that we came into the universe, nah. Like, there's some really fucking mental people out there. Some really mental and fucked up people. It's like, they're just like total fucking, like, contrarian as fuck, because these are the people that will sit and be like, aye, but we should all be ashamed for celebrating the day that we came in. If you're at a certain age and you celebrate your birthday, you need to have a look at yourself. Or just because you can't be bothered just because you're no fucking happy and cheerful. Like, aye, whatever. Aye, fucking madness, man. Fucking madness. There's some really fucking fucked up people out there. And apparently, I'm the fucking the worst one out there, apparently, if you've, depending on what fucking, depending on what person you bump into and they want to talk to you about me, fuck me, man, they'll have you fucking thinking I'm fucking Satan himself. Even though, like, some of these people that have got, like, really bad shit to fucking say about me, alright, they're no fucking saintly themselves, eh? Like, there's a reason why I'm here on my own and they're not here with me. Because they'll have it all one-sided and it's like, alright, cool, very good, aye, whatever. Like, the fact that you're still fucking bringing that shit up, even though we've not been to, because this person, like, fuck me, man, it was a long fucking time ago, but by golly, is that person still fucking coming after me? And it's like, alright, cool, whatever. Like, whatever. Whatever. Aye. Whatever, man. The fact that you still send people and fucking come after me, it's like, it's pretty fucking pathetic, really. Even though that person isn't a fucking nice person, like, but anyway, it's what happens. Life is fickle. People can be fucking weird as fuck. So in between the battle of the fire and the ice, the constant chaotic balance of forces, this is what we call constant cosmic conflict. Constant cosmic conflict, from the constant battle of Jotun. The Battle of the Jotun, which is the battle of the fire and frost giant, which does lead to Ragnarok, where the balance of fire and ice, one goes too much and gains too much momentum and breaks the balance, which brings Ragnarok. Sorry in it the now. If you know what you're looking for, like, there's telltale signs that, like, well, there's a wee bit of a break in the balance, and one elemental force is beginning to take a wee bit too much fucking flight, and it's like, all right, cool. And then it's like, I've mentioned it a few times, it's like, well, prove me wrong that we're not in Ragnarok, because you just need to have a look at, like, there's a particular YouTube channel, World of Signs, Like you get like you just need to have a look at what nature's doing in other parts of the world. But because there's some parts of the world where that isn't happening, it's like, well, it's the whole of creation. It's like the world is a big place. Just technology's made it small, but the minute you put your technology down and step out into the real world and go for a walk, you'll be surprised at how big the world actually is. It's because people think the world's small, which means that fucking flat earth fucking philosophy can take flight because, well, if it can, it's like it's because of fucking satellites. Take the satellites away and we take technology out of the equation. Holy moly, we go back to the fucking Stone Age. Well, it's no technically the Stone Age because there is ways to keep in contact. But like having the face-to-face telephone screens and stuff, like it can make the world look small. Just seen something there. I got the shivers, like I've got the goosebumps like a motherfucker. I just seen her shape. Just seen her shadow figure. Literally a mile and 2 eyes there. That was fucking weird as fuck. It's taken a wee while. I'm officially not on my own. I am here on my own, but there's something else here.
I'll throw something.
I'll throw something. I've just seen something. And I've just seen something now. The vibe's changed. Got a really good saying. There's no such thing as a coinkydink. Coinkydink being coincidence. I'm talking about the Joltner. And it's taken till now for things to start to happen. The trip, the walk back down. It's going to be interesting. Well, I've not got a spare charging cable for the equipment, so I might have to cut this one a wee bit short and start recording on the way back down.
Metal.
Anyway, gather my stuff up a wee bit. It's no day notes. I'm going to finish this anyway. I'm going to keep finishing. Oop. pardon me, sorry about that. As there is a thin balance between two chaotic forces, and the two chaotic forces being fire and ice. Fire being the bringer of light, and ice being comes with the form of darkness. Because when it gets nighttime on planet Earth, and it goes cold, it's because we're open to the universe. The power of the sun holds back the coldness of the universe, which is why the planet spins. One of the very few planets that spin at the rate that it does. And I've always found that our spin rate, I've always found it a bit weird, because all the other planets in the solar system take so long to do a spin or a rotation. We're the only one in the solar system that has the spin rate and the day ratio and the year ratio of which we have. When you start looking at some things are just a little bit too perfect, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean by that, like, didn't just happen by chance. Like, there was outside forces at play with that. Has to be. Because when you start looking at the bigger picture with the balance and how the rotation and the speed, like, it doesn't just happen by sheer chance, like, because we're the only one in the solar system, and actually in the seeable universe, that has the spin rotation and a few other unique things that you don't see anywhere else, and it's all about to fucking go kaboom. The tale of the old kingdom of Man and Azir before the giants. So the tale of the old kingdom of Man and the Azir before the giants came is a true story. It was an eon ago, but did exist. From the rocks was formed one. A lot of you won't know what that saying means, but if you know, you know. That's why everything is a thin balance of light and dark, fire and frost, earth and air. And then the most chaotic force being wind, believe it or not. Because it's the only one that can move all four other elements, but none of the other elements can do anything with air. Which is pretty awesome when you actually think about it.
Maleficence.
To create a unique force, air is the most chaotic. Because it's the wrath of the cosmos, and it's the wrath of all elements wrapped up into one chaotic force, and it causes the wind. And we also get hit by cosmic wind, which can sometimes cause upper and mid atmospheric wind pressures. That's why sometimes at night time, wind can just randomly get up out of nowhere. You're more likely to get a random wind experience at night time than you are during the day, because the battle of the cosmos, when the sun's at your particular part of the planet, it shields a lot of the cosmos. Whereas if you have at night time, goosebumps like a motherfucker. Sorry for swearing.
Thumbscrew.
So if one of the four elements takes hold more than the other, obviously absolute chaos will unfold, because the balance is key for creation. Balance is key.
We're outside watching.
Which is finely tuned. That's why I like to. It's why I like to visit. It's why I like. It's why I like planets. It's why I like this. It's why I like. It's why I like planet Earth. It's unique. It's very unique. That's why sometimes I come and visit from time to time. Because this isn't my first rodeo. I've been here quite a few times before.
Mirror's reflection.
Yep. I like to visit Midgard from time to time. A little reminder of what it's like to be here and living a good experience. But from time to time, other people have other ulterior motives. Because I don't want the force of nothing being. I don't want the. I don't want the Etran, the force of nothing, being the answer for creation, as it takes too much time for growth to come from the abyss. It takes too long. Everyone's all obsessed about the here and the now, like instantaneous. It's going to be now. That's because of technology. But like when it comes to like nature and things, like it takes time for things to grow. Like it doesn't just happen instantaneously. Because the absolute chances of fire and ice, well, fire and frost, well, fire and ice colliding once again and creating a perfect balance through two chaotic forces, creating a perfect balance in order to make a finely tuned to make
We
a
want to protect you.
so the chances of the absolute chances of it happening again are like null void, because it came from two space rocks of fire and ice colliding and two cores fusing, two cores fusing together to create one core, and then for the two of them over time to balance out and then create life, because that's what happened. Like planet Earth is created by two separate a long time ago was created by two planets colliding, and the likelihood of it happening again to create a perfect balance for life is little to non-existent. So let's hope that we don't see it happen, because everywhere I look now, it's not looking fucking good. I don't want to get back into that topic again, but it's more than likely going to happen, because this is part of the balance, the universe having a balance. Like, yeah. Because I did say in a previous description that this will be a two-nighter. I'll be back out again tomorrow night, because the equipment is running out of charge. I already knew that was going to be an issue because of the coldness when it was a clear night. Because when it's a clear night, it's can be quite interesting. So I'm going to probably come off of this and jump on the other way round. So through the balance of fire and through the balance of fire and ice, you can get a weird a unique place called Planet Earth. So literally one of a kind. And at the moment, it's looking like it's about to go fucking mental. But anyway, I'll be back out again. I'm going to record going back down the way. And again, I apologise if it just cuts off. I'll be back out again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will just be a random natter while the Spirit Talker app is on. Because it's sort of like a full moon tomorrow as well. There is something unique about tomorrow as well, but I'll explain about that tomorrow. So when you get so Planet Earth is created by, so in the tales, the old, to add mysticism and a bit of, because why not? They added the giants, two giants colliding and creating like a fire and frost giant colliding, being fused together. And then in the middle, there's like the abyss, which is Hellish realm, to prevent one force from another from taking over. Because if one of fire or ice, because at the moment it's a bit chilly, because of the universe being isolated, ice related. Because if you have a look at it, the ice, the higher up you go, you just because even bones shatter. And the higher you go up, the closer you get to perpetual universe, which is perpetual nothing. Because in the void of space, it's just ice. You've got more chances of just freezing up. I've got a couple of other topics that I could talk about, but the equipment's running out of the cold weather's just heard a voice there. I'm going to end this one here. That's the urban legend story over the witching hour. I've got to remember it is still a blood moon. And full moon at the same time, so weird things are going to happen. I'm going to walk back down through the other woodland. I'm going to record going down to the bottom of this woodland and probably record on the way back down as well, because why not? It's a wee bit of extra content. There's weird noises coming down from the bottom of the woodland. Anyway, that's the urban legend of the Jotnar. Probably re-talk about other Jotnar stories tomorrow, because I have got just other things. Other things are starting to happen now, down at the bottom of the woodland and further along the pathway down at the other woodland and stuff, because I can see things. because I just seen I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen like a figure walk. I'll come directly back on and face the camera forward. Anyway, thank you for watching the urban legend.
Please go left.
Thank you for watching the urban legend of the Jotnar. It's a different one. There will be another few random nights still to come with urban legends. Still got the big one. I'm just leaving the best for last.
Peril.
I'll end going to end the journey through the Vale with the big urban legend, because there's a few other interesting urban legends that I want to talk about, because they tie into like different things and different topics. Because a couple from talking about the Jotnar, I can talk about a couple of topics, probably on the way back down. Just why not? Just purely for why not? And then I can get straight into doing the walk through the other woodland, because it is still a blood moon, because it's now technically a blood moon. The key point is between 3 and 4, or it was between 3 and 5. I can't remember if it was an hour or 2 hours. I can't quite remember. But anyway, there's still things. There's things happening, because it is still it's a full moon as well. So there is that. Just that there's a blood moon. It's where it changes from a full moon to a blood moon. We don't get the blood moon here, but in other parts of the world, there's a like lunar eclipses and other things happening. And at the same time, this is technically a blood moon as well, so it's pretty cool. Because it also goes into tomorrow as well. That's the other cool thing about it. That's why it's a two-nighter. That's why it's a two-nighter. The blood moon continues tomorrow as well. I'll be doing what I'm doing now, but it'll be a different area. I'm not going to come to this area on the same night. Well, it all depends. It all depends on how windy it is. If it's super windy, then I won't be in Ravenswood. If it isn't, if it's a calm night, then I'll be in Ravenswood. It all depends. It all depends on how windy it is. Because I've got a couple of areas where I can go and can talk about some random topics and things, because there won't be any of the other stuff in the other one. I was using that for the full moon and going into the blood moon and stuff. I've got a few interesting topics that I've taken from talking about the Jotnar. Because while I was writing it, I also wrote other notes on taking notes from notes and creating something from nothing. A bit like Planet Earth, getting created from nothing. From nothing you can get creation. So anyway, come join me on episode 3 on the walk back down. That'll go for as long as the recording device has battery power. The minute that runs out of battery power, it'll just cut off, and then it'll be back on again tomorrow with a random second night, because it'll be Blood Moon Night 2, because it is a two-nighter. Believe it or not, the Blood Moon happens tomorrow night as well. It's not just tonight. There's a second phase to the Blood Moon, which is tomorrow, which will be quite interesting. Because I didn't do the second phase of the Blood Moon last year. I only came out on the first phase. I'll be coming out on the second phase, doing something slightly different than I did last year. Anyway, come join me on the camera facing forward. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you for watching. I will be elaborating on the Jotnar. It'll give me something to talk about on the way back down, because why not? Till then, come join me on episode 3 of the Blood Moon, phase 1. Phase 1 of the Blood Moon. This was a witching hour experience. Had a couple of things. I have no idea if the camera, when the camera was facing that way with the light that way, I have no idea if there was anything there or not. I know I could see things in front. But anyway. I'm wrapping this up at the right time because the wind's getting up and it's a little bit chilly for just sitting on a wooden log. Anyway, come join me on the walk back down. Come join me on the camera facing forward. Till then, God bless. See you on the next one.